You're listening to Hayes Radio Network, Cannabis Lifestyle Radio.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Kushman Monologues. Today, the date is September 11th, 2025. That's right, I said 2025. You've woken up in the future, and we're here with Housemaster Drew.
What's up, my brother?
Thank you for being with us today and hosting us in your wonderful home again. I always say home. I don't want to, I'm confusing people. I'm just being descriptive. It's actually a radio station.
Yeah, absolutely. But it feels like a home setting.
It does. It does. Well, I want to welcome everybody to another edition with a nice bong toke of strawberry cough. Ooh, a little water on the chin. You know.
It happens.
So it's not really 2025.
It's not.
No, it's not. But I feel like it is. I got a birthday coming up. On September 11th is my birthday.
Happy birthday.
1966 to be exact. So I'm going to be 53, but I feel like I'm going to be 60. So that's where the 2025 came from.
I got you. I got you.
Oh, man, I tell you. Birthdays, I'm not going to say I hate them, but they're not my favorite thing.
You know what? There's a lot. You know, there's some people that are very big birthday people. And then you have the people that really just truly don't care about their birthday. I'm kind of, I used to be ambivalent about it and kind of enjoy it, but I don't know, I get a little emotional. My biorhythms get really low. And it's funny. You get emotional.
You know, it's funny. I checked my biorhythms, and I don't really believe in any of this stuff, but it's like it's always right on around my birthday. All my rhythms are really low. My intellectual, my emotional. Actually, it says my emotional spirit is really good. And maybe that's why I'm not completely cracking up.
Well, that's good. If your emotional spirit is good, then you're definitely not cracking up.
But look, we're all here. We're live, and we're happy. And, you know, we have good herbs to heal our mind and our soul.
We got good herbs for sure.
Yes, we do. And, you know,
Speaking of.
I almost dosed today.
I know you told me.
You know, you remember, people out there don't know that I almost called this show Microdosing with Kyle Kushman.
Yeah, you did.
And I was toying with the idea of like coming on the air microdosed on psilocybin, like on a regular. I thought that would be fun.
I know, and I said it might be a bit too much.
Well, you know, we're going to try it one time. I almost did it this morning. Just a little tiny... Yeah, a microdose, like a little 0.2 of a gram microdose. Microdosing is in the news a lot lately. I don't know if you know.
Really?
Yeah. I think we mentioned this last week, but it's worth mentioning
But
again.
not microdosing. You're talking about acid when other people are talking about mushrooms and bud and stuff, though.
No, there are studies going on all over the country and all over the world I actually heard somebody saying that part of the trial for these doctors that are going to use it in a setting is they have to go through it themselves.
So they have to experience it so they can get to understand it.
I mean, doesn't it make sense?
Absolutely.
I mean, we're not talking about a Valium just to take away, you know, so you can go to sleep or a pain pill. We're talking about something therapeutic that you're going to have discussion through.
Absolutely.
And I think that's really, really cool. It's about time.
It is about time.
Yeah.
You know, but everything in small quantities is always good in the first place.
Well, I know in my heart that a lot of things can be cured through introspection, and that's what you get from psychedelics when you do the right amount and in the right setting. Instead of seeing kaleidoscopes and flying unicorns and shit, you go into a place where you analyze yourself.
And they say it's great for relieving depression now.
It's a dual-edged sword.
And yeah.
And let me tell you from experience.
Because you can have a bad trip.
I was talking about this the other day with one of my sons, my son Max. And I was just talking about how it's because I just acquired a little bit of mushrooms, and we're talking about what I was going to do and when I was going to do them and all. And he talked about he had a couple of experiences earlier on when he was a teenager. And they weren't necessarily very good. And the reason why was because he didn't do it in a very soothing kind of setting with people who were interested in his well-being. I'm not to say that they were interested in his non-well-being.
Sure, I got you.
And me, when I did it when I was a teenager, me and my friends, we were a little bit of the sensitive sort. We were like the chorus music theater crowd, and we used to sit down and talk about theories and the universe and weird feelings and shit. And so it helped you get in touch with parts of yourself that you don't normally have access to.
Absolutely. But it's also because you start seeing things. Well, I guess it depends on what drug. I guess, like, right, you'd have to go through the categorizing of
it does, but,
what it is to microdose certain drugs over other things, right?
But LSD and psilocybin, both hallucinogenics, are very, very different. But under a microdosing control, they're almost similar, and in that you just get. You know what the key, I think, is? The key is that when you're under these substances, you lose the ability to lie, and truth is what gets discovered, right? And what's the most powerful thing? What's more powerful than truth?
Like the honest alcoholic.
Right. That's hilarious. Could you imagine if alcohol was like a truth serum rather than the other way around? A bunch of people sitting around in a bar going, man, I'd take you home, but you're just a little too much for me.
Or you're like, I need a few more drinks. And then I think we could have something going on here.
Exactly.
I'm not fucked up enough yet.
Yeah, so I almost did that, and I'm going to do it at some point. I don't know if I'll announce it. I might just do it unbeknownst to all you people out there. It'd be more fun if I announced it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually for my birthday, I'm going to do a little microdosing, and I'm going to get away from the home life. Me and the wife, we're going to go away for a day and a half.
It's always fun to go in nature too.
Exactly, and then when I come back from that, we'll see how I felt about that, and
maybe camping trip.
No, just a little glamping. No.
What is a glamp?
Glamping is like glamour camping.
Okay. I actually have never heard that term.
You never heard that term? It's created for people who like really don't want to camp. They bring a mattress. And,
okay.
And they do it in style. Like there's these places you can rent out in the hills, like even around in Malibu and Tarzana, that are really, really high end. They're like, a chef will cook you a meal.
What?
And they'll start your fire for you.
Really?
Yeah, and you go out, you go out, and your s'mores are ready to be made. It's on a silver platter. It's called glamping.
Get the fuck out of here, really?
It's for the Calabasas crowd, man.
No shit, really? Yeah. I swear to God, I'd never heard of that. Glamping. I love it.
Glamping, yes.
That's the greatest thing ever.
Yes. So...
for all you glampers
man,
out there.
one of the things that's been such a burden on my mind lately is like, can you believe in the last 30 days, and this happens to me like once every 5 years, my hair conditioner got canceled, and then my leave-in got canceled, and then I lost my hairdresser like 2 weeks ago. I went to go make an appointment.
What do you mean the company just went out of business?
No, Aveeno, and they just decided to cancel my product. And this happened. It's something I go through, and I got this like pseudo almost rock and roll hair going on, but it takes the right kind of.
It takes effort.
It just takes the right kind of product, and now.
No.
But notice today, so I've been interviewing
other shampoos.
Every time I go out, I buy 3 or 4 new conditioners and leave-ins.
Oh man, that's the funniest shit ever.
And so but the final nail in the coffin was losing my hairdresser.
Yeah. Now how did that go down? She retired, or she said,
"No,
yo,
they
done.
just closed down the 18-8 men's salon over at Topanga that I'd been going to for the last 2 years." And she replaced my hairdresser that moved to Brazil. And the hilarious thing was that she was from Brazil. And now she's gone, and so now I got to go interview for a new hairdresser for my Jufro.
Wow.
It's a big pain in the ass, man.
So who's next on the list?
I don't have any.
Okay.
I don't have any. But you know what?
Okay.
This is a good time to give out my email address for secondary. If you are a hairdresser in the Woodland Hills, Sherman Oaks, Studio City, Thousand Oaks, Agora area, and you know how to manage the curly, somewhat frizzy Hebrew Jufro hair, give me an email at kylekushman@msn.com. And I wanted to tell everybody out there, I have another interesting idea I had. I thought that I would tell everybody that because I love the interactivity of the phone so much, and so if you're listening out there and think you have an interesting story and you'd like to be immortalized on the Kushman Monologues, send me a little message in an email to kylekushman@msn.com. And I'll call you up, and if you've got an interesting story, which isn't that hard, we all live interesting lives, don't we?
Absolutely.
Then I'll call you up during the show, and you can be on the show. Doesn't that sound like fun?
Hell yes.
Hell yeah, it does. So remember, it's kylekushman@msn.com. You know how old that email address is?
It's just as old as when you hear people that still have AOL. But actually, they closed that, right?
It literally predates AOL, and they grandfathered me in. It's like there's no more MSN.coms. In fact, when I put my email address like in a text to send it to people, usually it creates a link, right, that you can copy and paste. Mine creates a pop-up window for MSN.com.
And does it go to the right thing or
no? Like I said, it doesn't. They have to type it in. They have to look at it and type it in.
Sure.
Because it's so old that it doesn't recognize it as a link. It just recognizes the MSN.com. It creates a pop-up.
Yeah.
So you now go to. It's pretty funny, but it's old, and I guess I could create a new one.
You could.
But why? Maybe because of the conspiracy industrial complex. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Well, it's a theory of mine.
Okay, lay it on me.
Well, you've heard of the military-industrial complex.
Military, you mean just...
The military-industrial complex is like the reason why they can't stop making planes and tanks, and even though we don't need any more, it's because there's towns across America that are basically built on these contracts, and if you stop them, then the town dies.
Yeah,
right.
Okay,
So that's the military-industrial complex.
Okay.
And then you got the pharmaceutical-industrial complex.
Sure.
That's the, having to go to the doctor 3 times instead of once because, they're selling you things.
Yeah.
And babies getting, oh God, this burned me up the other day, and I am not a conspiratorialist, but I'm going to get into that in a minute. So my friend told me that he just had his baby inoculated for Hep C and AIDS.
For AIDS?
So this whole, look.
They have a vaccine for AIDS now?
It's
That doesn't even make sense. They haven't cured it even yet. So how do they have a vaccine for it?
Well, they're selling one. So, and then the baby ended up with a fever. They had to take it back to the hospital. Man, and I'm like, I'm just thinking if I had a baby now, okay?
Yeah.
I want it to be vaccinated against measles and mumps and all these diphtheria and all these.
You get told by doctors. It doesn't mean that that's what they have to take. What you have to be is a little bit more educated and actually see what the things are that you have to give for sure.
Look, you're not gonna be taking your baby into any mixed company in the first year. You're not going to be taking it around any intravenous drug users. And you're not going to be taking it out when you know that there's a flu epidemic going around. And so I wouldn't have my baby vaccinated for the first year. It's like let this living thing's immune system evolve on its own without being stimulated by virus. That's what an inoculation is. It's some of the virus to kickstart the immune system.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. Medicine is amazing, but come on, a little tiny little infant thing that's just take it home, take care of it.
Yeah.
Oh man. So the conspiracy industrial complex. To me, now. Look, I'm not naive. I know that there are conspiracies.
Sure.
Just like there are the word is created. There has to be conspiracies, but by the nature of the word itself, conspiracy, people make them up. 70% of all conspiracy theories, at least, are all made up. And do you know that people make money off of that? People make money off of internet sites and selling paraphernalia, t-shirts and bumper stickers and all kinds of shit to get people riled up about aliens at Area 51.
Oh, that's the wild one. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the people that are culminating together to try to bum rush a military facility.
Genius.
Is the dumbest,
these people,
absolutely fucking stupidest thing in the world
I've
ever in my life heard.
I'm convinced half of these people must wear helmets 24/7, and they just feel extra protected.
I don't know what makes them think they want to interject themselves in a situation where the military will defend it.
Right, where they have bullets and they're allowed to use them.
Yeah, the one area where they're allowed to do something. You walk in and say, I'm an American.
This is my land. I pay your job. I pay your salary.
You don't own the fucking land you're bum rushing, I'll tell you that much. And it's not like some state law or anything like that. When you get fucking break those rules, right, you're on their fucking law. Right,
dude. I don't even go when I'm walking through the woods,
and that's like some
I see a sign
security
that says
shit, because they can take you for like what, 72 hours without, or something like that, isn't it? At this point, with the Homeland thing, is that they can just snatch somebody up and can hold you for X amount of days, no matter what, for no reason whatsoever. So if you bum rush,
did you just feel that?
Yeah,
was that highway or an earthquake?
I would say that'd have to be kind of earthquake-ish, because that was a pretty big bump. You know what I'm saying? Or we're just so high today, but yeah. I actually don't think we're high enough. So.
Oh man, I lost my thought. I had a thought.
Imagine 51.
That. Area 51. Oh my goodness, people.
I mean, right? I mean, think about it. Like they can hold you, snag you up. Every single person that bum rushes there, put you in some wild facility.
I got something. So what do you think about that? So Governor Cuomo just signed a new law in New York.
Remember when everybody was getting crazy for with the Indian, with the pipeline and stuff like that?
Yeah.
They were searching people's Facebooks and they were really fucking, like, when people were showing up there and this and that, like the government and people were starting to really look into people that were doing that type of stuff. So imagine when you do this and go after Area 51. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ, big difference right there. You know, pipeline,
I don't know what they think. They think that if there's enough bodies that they'll be protected.
Most protected area for many reasons outside of fucking things that you don't even want to know about.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Did you hear about this this law?
They're gonna feed you to the aliens. That's what they're gonna happen. You're gonna not even show up in the rest of this. You're the subjects. That's it. You're gonna fucking be stupid enough to roll into that situation.
Did you hear about this law that it was a repeal of a law. They didn't pass a new law. They repealed a law. It's an old law from 1787 that says that a peace officer, meaning a police officer, can for cause that he deems necessary, tap any citizen on the shoulder and say, "I need you to help me." Have you ever heard of that?
Never.
You never heard of that?
Never.
Yeah, it's kind of like I deputize you. I need you, you know? And so in New York, they just repealed that law. And I think, I don't want to be beholden to some crazy cop.
I don't want to be beholden to some deputized. Yo, come help me. Oh, yeah. See that robber gang thing? Come on. Dude, I deputize you.
So I'm with that, man. Yeah. That was stupid.
Was that the only state that ever did something, even tried to do that?
No, it's a law right now in everywhere.
Oh, it was everywhere?
It is. It still is a law.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a law. Basically, in most states, that like a peace officer, if they need you, like they can take your car. Haven't you ever seen that in a movie?
I know the car commentary.
We need you. Yeah.
Oh, but they can't do that. Is that what the law repeals them from doing that? Or
no, in New York, they just that you don't have to follow that order if you don't choose to anymore.
Sure.
Which is like,
sure.
I mean, it's like, dude,
wow.
I'm stoned right now.
I can't imagine.
I don't think I should be responsible for causing peace. I do it the rest of the time I'm alive. Right now, this is on you.
Wow. They did, I'll tell you, speaking about New York and talking a little bit about cannabis, props to whoever is the mayor or governor or whatever it is. I heard that they expunged almost 100,000 marijuana
Yes, they did.
things, something like that, right?
Yes, that's freaking awesome.
And New York has been very hardcore, where I even had a friend who was just going to a concert, and the friends were kind of just chilling and toking. He wasn't even toking, he was just hanging with them before they rolled into the concert. And cops were just like paddy wagons, like all these people, rustled them up, had to go to jail. He had to take classes, all kinds of shit for not even smoking, literally just being next to the people who were smoking, and had to have that on his record. New York has been pretty hardcore about cannabis for a long time.
Yeah, and now they've made it a low priority, and they don't arrest people for smoking anymore. And I believe they've legalized medical, and they're working it out.
Yep, and that's why they expunged people's things.
Hallelujah.
Absolutely.
Legal integration, man, is not easy.
Probably prohibition wasn't either.
Prohibition was easy for people like me because the path was what you chose. You just took however big a risk you decided to take, you took.
Sure.
You didn't have OSHA and federal regs and the fire marshals and EPA regs, and it's almost a gentrification of a sort.
Interesting.
The legal integration is squeezing out a large majority of the people who created the culture.
Yep.
And they're all becoming white shirt wearing, collared.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but kudos to everybody who's finding their inroads.
Absolutely.
And I have some. I'm not completely out of the race. I have some interesting things this weekend. In fact, tomorrow I'm actually driving up to the Bay to go investigate a vertically integrated operation.
Nice.
I could possibly collaborate with.
Sweet. And for those that don't understand,
vertically integrated means that you don't just have a cultivation license, or you don't just have a distribution license, or you don't just have a packaging license. You have all of them. And that way, you're your own company. Because otherwise, there's all these laws about moving the stuff and packaging the stuff and distributing the stuff. And it's really complicated. And I've learned that, and this is a good piece of advice.
And do you think the vertical integration is the best?
It's the only way right now.
It's called in California the micro business license, right?
Yes, it is.
That's cool.
And the only way to get any funding right now is to be vertically integrated.
Interesting.
Otherwise, you're beholden to outside forces.
Yeah.
And so we're going up to the Bay to look at a vertically integrated operation to see if we can collaborate and
cool.
Create quite a stir. So that'll be fun.
Hell yeah.
No gentrification going on here. We're talking OGs and boom Ross, you know what I mean. We're going to be cool and thinking everything out and being friendly to the earth.
Absolutely.
Yes. Organic and veganic growing only. And home grow. Can't forget to mention home grow, man. I am about to start another flowering cycle as the fall comes.
Oh, shit.
Yep. And I'm waiting to see if I get another LED to try out. I did the Solace Tech Alpha Gen B9s last time. I was very, very, very happy with them.
And if you're an LED company listening to this show.
No. I already got somebody else. Fluence is sending me one. And
Doesn't mean you can't impress Kyle and send them a free LED.
And I'm going to be doing it side by side. 2 plants under each one in the same tent, same environment. and do a little test. LEDs have really fucking come around, man. I gotta tell you, this is kind of the year of LEDs for me.
The year of the LED.
I haven't done 4 LED grows in my entire life, and I've done 2 this year, so.
And not bad.
Yeah, man, it's really looking good. And
it's always good when you get to smoke your own stash.
I'm going to document this one. In fact, we put up a GoPro, but my cameraman, Matteo, didn't do such a good job, and it fell down less than an hour after he left. So we have to rehook that up this week.
I got you.
We're gonna be streaming that on the new website.
Nice.
And yeah, man, got the year-end barbecue coming up. I talked to you about that last week.
Yep.
You said you'd come.
Yep.
So I think that's did I say the 21st or the 23rd?
Yeah, and you just got to make sure that you remind me.
Yeah, I will. I'll send you an invitation text.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. And we got the Hall of Flowers to mention in Sonoma at the fairgrounds on September 18th and 19th.
Yeah.
If y'all are looking for something fun to do.
Hall of Flowers is a fun.
Hall of Flowers is
a cool event. And then who are you participating with that you're at Hall of Flowers? Or are you just going to go? Like, how did that hall go down?
Hall of Flowers is more of a B2B show than it is a carnival.
Well,
it's not really an Emerald Cup kind of thing.
Well, I know that. So, but I was asking what brought you, because it is more of a B2B. Who are you repping with somebody?
I'm not going. I'm just mentioning it for the people that didn't know, and bringing it up.
Those that are business to business. Yes. It is one of the better shows to go to.
Definitely.
All the top-notch legal Cali brands represented at Hall of Flowers get picked up at a lot of really good dispensaries. So
it's a great environment.
If you're a dispensary out there and you're trying to find out what's hip, what's good, what's, in good competitions, and definitely in the subculture, the guys running Hall of Flowers are really cool guys. So definitely worth going to if you have a business-to-business license, and definitely worth checking out all the mad chronic that's going down on that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I love Sonoma. I love Santa Rosa. It's my favorite Santa.
Santa Rosa.
I like Santa Rosa even more than Santa Claus.
Which was the one from the Lost Boys?
Shit.
With the roller coaster and all that stuff. Was that
Santa Monica?
No, it was like Santa Clara or it was like Santa Rosa or one of those.
Santa Rosa didn't have a pier.
It was one of those places, but it wasn't Santa Monica.
I don't remember. That was a good old one.
Santa Cruz maybe, or I don't know, something like that. But one of the Santas, I believe.
Santa Rosa is, for those of you that don't know, is a couple counties north of the Bay. You got Marin, and then you got Sonoma, famous for all the wine.
Oh, yeah.
And kind of the heart of Sonoma is kind of about Santa Rosa. And Santa Rosa, Healdsburg area is really a nice, lazy place to kick back and do some wine country.
Sure.
Wine tours.
Yep.
Wine tasting.
Yep.
And
smoking a little herb.
Yeah, everybody's smoking herb up in Sonoma for sure.
Oh, yeah. Good soil for the wine and the nuggies.
For me, that's where North Cal actually starts, is really
Sonoma.
Yeah, people think NorCal is the Bay, but the Bay is the Bay. Now, I'm not a native California, so many people say I don't have any right to speak, but it's just my humble opinion. I think that NorCal is a state of mind.
NorCal is a state of mind.
It is, just like SoCal is a state of mind.
It is.
And NorCal's state of mind doesn't start until you get past Marin.
Remember when they're talking about...
Because Marin is still like the city.
It's nice.
It's beautiful, but people that live in Marin still work in the city, and they got to get there at a certain time, and they're in a rush.
Sure.
But NorCal is a state... NorCal is so much a state of mind.
Yeah.
It's almost opposite L.A.
It is.
You know how L.A., I talk about how you're allowed to be like an hour...
It's like New York and Manhattan, and you go an hour outside of the city, you're like a hick.
But it's like, it's true opposites. In Mendo, they call it Mendo time.
Yeah.
When I used to live in Mendo, they call it Mendo time. And it just means like don't even harsh on me, if I'm 30 minutes late, because we got more hours than we need. We grow weed, we grow money on trees. we're going out on the boat today. We're gonna do a little fishing. We're gonna go ride the bikes in the hills and the woods. So the time doesn't matter so much. Down here, it's like you gotta think about if you really want to go visit a friend down towards the city, because you might spend 2 hours with your friend and 3 hours on the road.
I got you.
It's weird. It's weird.
That's funny.
It's time for another big fat rip.
I'd say it's about time.
It is about time. What you got on the clock there, Drew? How many minutes have we clocked?
We barreled through half the show. Little cough for Kyle.
So what'd you think of that sour cream donut I brought you?
I enjoyed the sour cream donut. Yeah, I more enjoyed the fact that it was the Dunkin' Donut flashback. Just because we were talking about, I grew up in New York. Like
as did I.
You know, that was always the king of kings.
So when you say,
just like Carvel.
So when you say I'll take a coffee regular, what does that mean?
Oh, we talked about this once before. Coffee regulars with 1 sugar, but then there's a name for when you want 2 sugars and 2 something.
Regular
right?
is 1 sugar and 1 cream.
Yeah, 1 sugar, 1 cream. And what's the double?
You just say 2 and 2.
2 and 2. That was
I'll take a coffee 2 and 2.
I'll take 2 and 2. I remember that.
It's funny because I was talking. So that's like a new addition to our town up here. We got a DD shop.
Got the DD.
We got the Dunkin' Donuts out on Ventura
It's also
Boulevard.
down the street.
Yeah, and
walk to the donuts. Remember the commercial? Time to make the donuts. Time to make the donuts.
Yeah. There are so many donut shops in the valley, dude.
There are a lot of donut lovers for the amount of donut shops.
It took me a while to like just
bakeries.
muse over that as to why there were so many donut shops.
And bakeries.
Good bakeries are hard to find. But you know, the thing is that there's so many donut shops is that you don't know which one's got cockroaches crawling all around through them and shit.
Oh, shit.
They've been in these strip malls for 25 years. So it's nice to have a bright, shiny, new. They've got, this is like the flagship Dunkin' Donuts. They have they have the nitro coffee on tap, the cold brew on tap.
What is it? Wait.
Like it looks like
it's a nitro. What does that mean?
They infuse it with nitrogen.
Okay. And what does that do?
It's pretty incredible. It takes all the bitterness away.
No.
Yeah, it almost makes.
What about the acidity?
It makes it taste sweet and coffee-y.
Coffee-y.
Like yummy coffee-y.
I got you.
I can appreciate a place that has 6 parking spots that you can just pull into off of Ventura Boulevard.
Absolutely.
Okay, come on, that doesn't happen. Actually, I think there's like 8 or 10. That's on both sides of the building. They may even have more than that.
They're rocking as much as CVS.
They are rocking it. So you just pull in, get a nice iced coffee or a sour cream donut. Or this morning, sounds like I'm plugging DD. I like DD. I had an egg sandwich.
It's old school.
I had a ham, egg, and cheese on an English muffin, and it was nice. I needed some protein, something warm in my belly before I came into work. I'm working, folks. Get that. Do you feel like you're working, Drew? You're working more than me.
Working hard for the money.
You're working more than me. You got controls and shit in front of you. He's playing with camera angles, and
I got to keep us good.
He's keeping us good. So y'all good out there, man. I hope y'all are in the sunshine. I feel really bad for the people enduring this crazy weather, man. I've been through a few hurricanes in my life. You ever been through a hurricane?
Oh yeah, many.
Oh my goodness.
I remember going through
when you get over the fear, it's fun.
When I was a kid living in New York, and you'd be up in those buildings in the Bronx, you know, in the apartments that are like fucking super high, and hurricane. You know what I mean? That's some scary shit.
I lived through one couple when I was a kid, David, and there was also one that I lived through when I was pumping gas out in New Jersey. I was growing weed in my bedroom, and I kept a job just to keep myself busy. And I remember, man, watching this storm come in, and I'm running a gas station. Hellacious. Nature is crazy, man. So yeah.
And you actually kind of went out when it was in.
I was working through it. Like I closed up, like as it got, like really, really, really bad.
Did you feel any like to a point where the wind was so tough it was like you had to grab onto something or anything wild or no?
No, I didn't get to that point.
You didn't get to that point, right?
No, I didn't. I got inside before that shit.
Wow.
Remember that? In Delran, New Jersey.
What was that? Oh, I remember the name. Was it called Twister or something like that?
That movie, that Helen Hunt movie?
Yeah, with Helen Hunt. And they would chase those tornadoes and shit. That was a pretty wild movie for back in the day, effect-wise. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I suppose it was. I suppose it was. It wasn't one of my favorites.
Not a favorite, but, we were on the topic, so I was just trying to relate to these vicious wins and recalling in my head movie and actual life.
Oh, there's a movie that's just coming out real soon that I really want to go see.
Tell me.
Joker.
That should be good. Who's playing it?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, he's a maniac.
Have you seen the trailer? Everybody go watch the trailer for this movie. If you're into dark realities, this movie, if it wasn't even a comic, it outclasses all the comic book movies. It's so.
What do you mean outclasses?
It's so character driven. Well, it's just so I don't really want to over describe it. Just watch the trailer and you'll see it's really it's very cinematic and it's very.
I'll watch it. I'll check it out.
You can tell that it's a very disturbing story about how the Joker could have become this person in a pseudo chaotic Gotham, which is basically New York City, and it's very allegorical.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's very representative of all of our mass shootings and all the angst and all the craziness. Everything's come to an extreme. Every good thing has reached an extreme where it's potentially, in some circumstances, a bad thing. Everybody's bastardized and co-opted every good idea and turned it into something that it isn't, through fear, through hate mongering. You all know what I'm talking about, and I'm not a fatalist because I'm going to put that smile back on, and I'm going to be the light that I want to see in the world. But in order to shine in a world that's so fucking dark, it helps to understand it and not ignore it and not downplay it and not think everything is fucking great, because we're in a very tumultuous time, and this is a good time to
many reasons
to reach out and to just be friendly, Just don't hold your hand on the fucking horn. Just give it a light tap, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'll hear you just the same.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
But that's what we're all about, man. We're human beings, and we're supposed to, if you're not here to help others, then just fuck you, man. Serious. I mean.
Oh. You're feeling very angsty a little bit towards the end of the show today.
I'm feeling that angst,
You're all political today.
I want to get out to the country and I need to live in a retreat in a yurt. I need to live in a yurt for a week.
The yurt.
A yurt.
I like the yurts.
You know the yurt?
That seems a very well constructed. Yeah, I mean, come on. Well, everybody's been come back from Burning Man. There's probably about 10,000, 20,000 people who had yurts.
I have never done Burning Man. It's too extreme for me.
Shout out to all my friends out there who went and had a good time.
Have you ever burned?
Oh, yeah, 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah, I've done it for 10 years.
Wow.
Took a break, have kids, and that is a time of the past. But I do reminisce, and definitely shout outs to everybody at Beats Boutique, who I'm very sorry to hear that had someone who passed away during burn there at the camp. And from what I've been reading on Facebook, very young and cool guy, and a lot of people were very surprised, and at the same token had very opposite interactions with him, very happy and very kinetic things. And I'm sorry that his spirit is not with us anymore.
Yes,
they did hold a tribute to him, and if you guys are interested in learning more about who he is, just search. He was the only person who passed away at Burning Man this year.
Whoa. Well, thankfully for that.
Sure.
But, it's 80,000 people.
Yeah, 85,000.
I heard one, let me retell you one recount of Burning Man.
Shout out to Stang. He's been doing last year and this year, had the greatest time of his life, just so you know.
This year?
Last year for the first time, and then went this year.
Nice.
I gave him a whole bunch of cool wardrobe items for him to rock out last year and this year and stuff from some associates and friends and shit like that to make sure he was like totally having the best time of his life. And
we love the Stangs.
And he said he's going to come and recap, not on the air but off air, about how much fucking fun he probably had this year.
So this girl was giving me just her impression. I guess she's a longtime burner, and so like there's like a negative a connotation of the new people.
Sure.
The new people that are coming. And man, I just got to say, it's like, okay, so there's two ways to look at this. There's many ways to look at this. For me, there's two ways to look at this. So it's like, you're going to a festival that's all about freedom and release and all these wonderful things, whatever it's supposed to be to you. And then you're going to want to cast any aspersions against somebody who is going there for the first time and is excited about getting a selfie, because you're not supposed to have a cell phone, but the only camera they carry is the cell phone. And it just, okay. And then there's the other side, that's like,
well, for many years, when you got up to there, except for the past couple of years, you got the reason why you went all the way the fuck out there is because there was no cell phone reception, so you couldn't post and do that. So most people just took some pictures and then spent the rest of the burn doing the burn,
Well, that's what but all I'm saying is we all have to get along, or we don't all get along. That's all. That's the basic point I'm saying. You see somebody and you want to hug them for some reason. Well, what's the reason you don't want to hug that person? I don't understand. It doesn't.
Exactly.
It's not fair. You're being a hypocrite somehow. And so just, if they're not just because they're not experiencing it in the same spirit, to the same spiritual level that you are, maybe this person isn't capable of it. Maybe they never will be capable
Absolutely.
of it. Maybe you should try to help them rather than cast aspersions on them.
Sure. So it's you got to talk about, you hear a couple people's opinion out of, again, 80,000, 85, you're going to get so many different opinions of what people do.
Sure.
But the people who really enjoy it keep going back. The people who don't never do. But no matter what, whoever went definitely has a story to tell. Walking around and checking it out, and however the fuck they got up there and everything that happened to get them to that point, there was a reason that brought them to that playa, let's say. Whatever it was, something drew them to it. And they might have realized, wow, I just brought myself into the fucking craziest thing that I can't even handle in my life. But you know what? Sometimes that's good for you as well, right?
Yeah, well, it's just people are just not as profound as they used to be, in my estimation.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I just think maybe it's harder for people to be profound.
Profundity?
To be profound.
It's the screens, man. It's the screens. We live on our screens. And that's the sad thing. We only have a certain amount of physical, emotional energy. Everything is finite to a certain degree.
Absolutely.
Unless you're like a yogi and just, you have sweet release and everything is everything and it's infinity is every.
And even if you're not a yogi, a little bit of meditation every day, they say, is very healthy for the body, the brain. Just essentially giving yourself 10, 15 minutes.
You know what my theory on meditation is?
Just chilling, silent.
It's like getting high, right? They say if you stay high, then you don't have to get high. Well, guess what? I'm meditating right now. I never stop. So there's... Did you hurt yourself? Yeah, man.
I'm good.
Meditation is something that I'm not totally in tune with, but I think that I meditate. I really do. I feel like I've always meditated. Am I crazy?
No. I mean, you know what I actually saw? It brought me like a crazy flashback. I saw somebody post somewhere in LA. There's a gremlin restaurant or store, like literally called Gremlins or something. Look it up.
Okay,
I didn't know it was a fucking joke or not, but when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that looks fucking cool."
In LA. Let's see what comes up.
Gremlins.
Lasting policy.
Try Gremlins restaurant.
Jolly Rancher of a car. Gremlins in Los Angeles. YouTube.
Click it.
Let's see what that does.
Let's see what's up. But I think it's like some fucking.
We got to go through a 5-second commercial here with Martha Stewart.
Oh.
Okay, and then I skip the ad.
Let's skip Martha.
And it says No, this is old. That's
okay.
Not it.
Yeah. I'll check it out.
Let's try one more time. Okay, Google.
Let's say with an S.
Gremlins Restaurant, LA.
Here's what I found.
I love talking to my phone.
He loves it.
So,
does it say something? No?
Nothing came up.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look it up.
I think you had a dream last night.
Maybe I was dreaming about it. Maybe I'm going to open up one.
Gremlins? There's not too many things that scare me, man, but like little fucking creatures that can rip you to shreds, that scares me.
I could say that was, especially when that happens just by dropping water on them.
Mogwai.
That's great.
Oh, yeah, man. But, yeah, so what was I saying?
We got lost.
We got lost.
We didn't smoke enough today.
I think the mushrooms are kicking in.
Oh,
When's the last time you did any psychedelics?
Playa. Literally.
What'd you do?
Like when I was at Burn. Little mush, little liquid.
How long ago was that?
Like 5 years ago.
Too long. You and I, we should go do a little microdose. An afternoon, de-stress.
I would need more than an afternoon because, like we talked about.
2 hours.
You think so?
Yeah.
Tiny
Controlled
bit, like
2 hours.
How many, like?
Enough to just sit by the water for a couple of hours and
sure.
you bullshit a little. You know, it's just an unwind. You know.
I got you.
I'll let you know how it goes.
Well, I know you'd experiment first anyway, even if I didn't.
So, do you need any clones? Because I'm cutting some clones in the next day or so.
Is it cough?
Yeah, I'm taking some cough.
A little coffee? Possibly.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep everything alive. Actually, I'll have a few mothers I got to find homes for as well.
Are you not going to do a second run? You done with the inside action?
No, I just I'm taking my tent from, all my plants are 2 feet tall.
They're just too big, huh?
I
trim them
I
down.
put the few mothers in the other tent. I'm going to flower them.
Oh,
And
sweet.
the other ones, I'm just going to take some cuts off of them, and then I'm going to
regenerate it.
Yeah, and start over again so I can just have them 6 inches tall. Then have another round ready for 2.5 months from now. I'm doing the 9-pound hammer. I'm so excited to have a heavy indica. I haven't grown a heavy indica.
That was from your boy Subby, right?
No, that came from Jason, the guy we spoke to last week.
Oh, yeah.
Hydrofarm.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jason. I know you're out there listening. Thank you.
And Sub's giving you.
And Hydrofarm, thank you for your support. Oh, yeah, Sub. We're going to see Sub in a couple of weeks, me and the film crew from Grow Your Own.
Oh, you got that arranged?
Yeah, we just arranged it yesterday. In fact, I was supposed to email back the crew and let them know when. I don't think we have an actual date yet, but it's in a couple of weeks. And we're going to go do video and probably do one of Sub's Weed Nerd shows. And,
oh, yeah.
And
what kind of show? Break that down.
He does a podcast called Weed Nerds.
Really?
Yeah. He's been doing that for years.
Really? And how long is it for? Is it an hour show? I mean, how long is it?
I don't know his format, man.
Yeah, we got to talk to the cool man. I'll throw his stuff on. Is it good? Have you listened to it?
It's good. He's
yeah.
he I haven't listened to it in a
Get
long
me
time.
links
I've been
to
on
it.
like 3 times.
Yeah, I want to hear it. I want to listen to that shit. That's great. We'll get off the air. We'll check it out for sure. And we are actually getting towards more of the end. Any recapping?
Well, yeah, man. Home grow people, man. I mean, that's what, like, there's lots of information online, man. Don't have to be paying crazy prices. And I'm not going to tell anybody that they should do anything illegal, because you should not. But if you live in a state where it's legal to grow like California and you don't grow 6 plants, man, whew, it's crazy. Grow your own. That's what I got to say.
Oh, yeah.
So with that, we're going to say everybody have a sunny day or have a shiny night. It don't matter. Have a great time. And we're going to be back here again next week to do another Kushman Monologues. Don't forget, if you want to be on the Kushman Monologues, send me an email at kylekushman@msn.com and I'll be in touch. Until then, don't forget to make someone that you don't know smile today. We're out.